welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Forex Feast channel. And this is where we have made it our mission to prepare the regular retail trader with the knowledge and with the skills necessary to go into these Forex markets and feast in profits. I am your humble, gracious, and grateful host, Sunday Okigwe, at your service. And listen, guys, I have to tell you this. I have to tell you that I am not a financial advisor, by the way. I think that should be obvious. But just in case it's not, let me just go ahead and, put that out there. Okay. Forex is risky business. Okay. You don't need me to tell you, but I feel like I have to stress that Forex is risky business. You can lose your shirt along with your entire nyash if you do not know what you're doing in these markets. Okay, so exercise caution when dealing with your money, make sound decisions, wait for perfect setups before you get involved. There is no shame in starting with a demo account before you get in and start trading with hard on cash. Okay, all right, well, let's get into this analysis. And as you can see, it's going to be with GBP AUD. It's always going to be with GBP AUD. Well, at least for the duration of this 3,000 to 100,000 dollar forex trading challenge. Okay, so for the duration of the challenge, uh, we're going to be dealing primarily with GBP AUD, and then we'll branch off after the challenge is done into other pairs. But this is my favorite pair, so I wanted to start off this challenge focusing on my favorite pair. And so far so good. um, so far we have amassed and grown our account from 3,000 to now a little over $10,000. And as you can see from the trading view chart in front of you, we're looking at different colors that represent different key areas in the market. Okay, over the past 2 weeks or so. Okay, so starting from 2 weeks ago, you can see that price was ranging around these two areas right here, represented in the color, in the lavender colored support and resistance areas. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so these two areas right here, this is where price was ranging 2 weeks ago. Just kind of go up, test this resistance area right here, and then descend down to the support area, wick and spike into that area, and then reject upwards towards the resistance area. So these two areas were getting tested, and then towards the end of that week, like the Thursday London session going into the Friday New York session, price finally broke the resistance level a little bit higher to start testing this area right here, which I drew out as a new significant area, or an area to keep an eye on for the upcoming week. And sure enough, okay, that area became a significant area in this upcoming week, which is this past week. In the upcoming week, which is this past week that we just concluded. Okay, so from Friday to Monday, price came up to this area right here and wicked. Okay, you can see those two prominent wicks right there. Okay, and then it went there, tested that area, and then came down to what was once resistance but was now serving as support, because like I've said in previous videos, when price breaks a resistance zone, okay, when it breaks above a resistance zone and closes above a resistance zone, and then subsequent candles continue to do the same, that resistance zone is now can now officially be referred to as a support zone. Okay, because price is going to definitely come back down and try to test that area, and it can do one of two things. It can either bounce off that area and continue bullish, or it can break through that area and find a new support level. Okay, there's only one of two things price can really do at any given time. It's either going to go up, or it's going to go down, or it's going to consolidate or go sideways, right? So Okay, so from that breakdown, we saw that price had been, at least for the past few weeks now, kind of in a range. Okay, price has been ranging this past few weeks. It started, from the beginning of the challenge where it ranged between these two areas right here, and then it formed a new range area just this past week. Okay, between these two areas right here that are highlighted in blue. Okay, so you see where the previous, or the support and resistance area from the week before last, or 2 weeks ago, and then you see the support and resistance areas, and this time is reflected in light blue, from this past week. Okay, from just this past week that concluded yesterday. Okay, Friday. So the question now becomes, what are we going to be expecting for next week? Okay, so for next week, what I suspect might happen, and I'm basing this just on, my experience with watching price action with GBP AUD currency pairs. Okay, the GBP AUD currency pair has a way that it kind of behaves, even when it's in a ranging situation. Okay, even when price is ranging, there's a way it likes to behave. And it's not just unique to GBP AUD, by the way. I must say this is not behavior that is just unique to GBP AUD, but I mean, I see it so many times with this pair. Okay, and that is, the pair is going to go down and test and retest a level before making a significant move. Okay, so there is no significant move that's going to happen with a GBP pair. I don't care if it's GBP AUD, I don't care if it's GBP USD. I don't care if it's GBP CAD. I don't care if it's GBP JPY. There is no significant movement that's going to happen with a GBP currency pair unless there has been a test of a significant level first. It likes to go and test or retest a significant level before it finally pulls away and kind of takes off for several hundred pips, and that actual main move it wanted to make, it doesn't make that solid main move until it has gone and retested a level. Okay, so there's a reason why I'm stressing this. I want you guys to keep that in mind as we're looking at how, the New York session closed. Okay, just yesterday, Friday, this is where New York session closed. Okay, it closed with a bearish candle to the downside. This is how New York session closed. Okay, and as you can see right here, it closed inside of a significant level. Okay, now the question is, what type of level is this? What should we call this right here? Okay, should we call this a support area? Should we call this a resistance area? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a closer look. Okay, and in order to understand this, we'll have to go back 1 week. All right, now when we go back 1 week, that takes us to this area right here. This area right here is how the market opened up. Okay, and by the way, it was a bearish candle. By the way, it was a bearish candle. The market opened up with a bearish candle. Okay, and it spiked towards this area right here. Okay, which by the way was forming and becoming the new support area. We already knew this was a significant level because coming into that Friday New York session, this was already beginning to form. Okay, this formed even in the London session, in pre-London. Okay, price was spiking down to this area and rejecting. Okay, pre-London and London, and then it came into the New York session. It did the same thing. Okay, early New York session, it did the same thing, and then finally at the end of the New York session, this candle right here, this bearish candle formed. So when the markets opened on Sunday, it was only natural. Okay, and I said this, by the way, in my previous analysis, that the expectation was that price was going to try to test this level to try to see if this is an actual legitimate support level. Okay, because mind you, this was just formed like what, like a few days prior. Okay, so what the market is going to try to do is make sure it tests a previous level to see how it holds up. Okay, and that's what happened. Price opened up, during the Sunday session, and it spiked down to this level right here, and there was a massive rejection. I mean, look at the size of that wick. Okay, it came down, it spiked into the support area. I mean, look at how that matches up with the previous spike. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's, you can almost draw a straight line between these two wicks right here. You can draw a straight line through, but it's just that this line right here is a little bit lower. Okay, this line right here is a little, or this wick I should say, right here is a little bit lower than this wick. It's like a fraction. You could barely see it. Let me see if I am. Yeah, okay. So yeah, when I zoom in, now you can see it. You can see it a little bit when I zoom in. Okay, you see, this one is right at the line, but there's a little bit of gap right there. Okay, but anyway, I digress. So when that happened, okay, we got an even stronger confirmation that, hey, this might actually be a legit support area, or at least a key level. Okay, because price spiked into there like I said it was going to, and then it rejected and started heading towards the resistance area. Okay, which happened to be the resistance area that formed from the week prior. Okay, so you know, so far so good. The initial support area and the initial resistance area has been established. Okay, and this is Sunday, starting the market off. And then we now go into Monday and Tuesday. And this is when the actual spikes happened, where price now broke above that resistance, that initial resistance area. It broke above that and started testing a new area. Okay, you see these two wicks that happened right there that spiked. Okay, I mean, these wicks right here alone are like at least 20 pips just by themselves. Okay, this is like a 25 pip wick. This one is probably like a 20 pip wick. These are long wicks that formed and spiked into a new zone, which I drew out right here. Okay, because this is going to be significant going into next week. Okay, why am I saying it's going to be significant? Because look at these areas right here. This became the high of the week. Okay, this became the high of the week. I mean, the closest we came to price trying to retest this area right here, this high right here, was this area right here. Okay, you saw it tried right here and it failed. Tried again right here. This was actually a weak attempt. Okay, it looked like it wanted to, it looked like it meant business, because look at how far it spiked down. Look at how long that wick is. I mean, it looked like a strong surge. Like this was probably going to push through and maybe come up to this level somewhere. But, it lost steam around here, and that was that. Okay. The next candle struggled but fell down. Okay. Then you had another push towards that zone. Okay, but it still did not go past this high wick that was created earlier on in the week, in the Monday going into Tuesday session. Okay, so what does that tell us? That tells us that in the upcoming week, we should really pay attention to this area right here. This is either going to be a significant resistance area or a significant support area. But we should definitely pay close attention to this area. Okay. So now, having said that, this is what we think price might happen. This is what I think, rather, price might do next week. Okay. This is how I see price behaving next week. Okay, I think there's going to be a spike down to test a level. Okay, since price is already in this key level area right here, what's the next level to test? The next level down is this area right here. Okay, so we expect that price is going to come down to this level right here and probably, probably leave a wick, and a massive rejection. It's going to spike in here somewhere and it's going to close either inside or slightly above it or somewhere in this range. But in following with our trading rules, we don't care about that initial spike. Okay, that initial spike does not concern us. What happens are the next candles that form. Okay, If there's a bullish engulfing candle that forms right after that and closes above, that would be the candle to get in on. Okay, that is the candle that I'm going to get in on in a buy position, and I'm going to ride that either to this zone or ultimately this zone. Okay, depending on what price does here, I might even add to my position. Okay, depending on what price does here. Okay, so if price goes here and it does some small consolidating and then it starts heading upwards, okay, I'm adding to my position. If it breaks above here, I'm going to add to my position. Okay, which brings me to my next point. I'm not going to do anything risky because, after all, we're just opening up the market, okay? I'm not going to come out guns blazing on a Sunday. That's not going to happen, okay? Because the market is still trying to form and decide where it's going to go. That's not the time you want to come and bet the farm, okay? So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to come out with standard lots, okay? Maybe standard lots and some change, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1.50, $1.20. That's what I'm going to initially put into this trade, but I'm going to have multiple positions open depending on if the setup happens the way I expect it to happen. Okay, if the setup plays out the way I want it to play out, I'm going to come in with a standard right here. If it gets to this area and it's consolidating, it looks like it wants to keep going, I'm going to add more positions right here, and I'm going to follow it and ride it all the way up to this area, and ultimately to see if it breaks this zone right here. Okay, but at the same token, price can get to this significant level right here and decide it wants to reverse and keep going down to break this level and test this next level right here. Okay, those are still options that can happen. Okay, but the one that I have described earlier is the likely scenario. That's the one that I'm leaning towards. That's where I'm going to be looking for opportunities to enter the market, in a buy position. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. Guys, listen, if you enjoy the content, you know what to do. Okay, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, hit the notification bell so whenever I drop these videos, you will get the alert. Okay, I wish you guys a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys Sunday open. All right, take care.